Hello everybody and welcome back to Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson, and today we're at Crystal Cottage and I'm about to repot two of my plants here. Now these two plants, I've had these for many years now. Actually, in fact, I've had this grouping of leaves here for about 3 years. They are a kind of bulb and they get these beautiful white flowers on them, but since I've had them, they've had no flowers on them at all. But these leaves come up and they stay lush and green all the time, evergreen. Really beautiful. This beautiful plant you see next to me here, this is a rubber tree. And this was a little cutting I found on the street side in the south of Spain when I was on holiday there. Someone was cutting all the branches off their huge rubber tree and there was a pile of them out on the street. I took 5 of these stems, and this, I mean, has tripled in height, by the way. It was down to this first leaf here when I first got the cutting. 5 cuttings, and only this one survived to maturity here. It's absolutely beautiful, and I am so proud of it. So proud of it. But now, I want to use this pot down here, this blue pot, for another plant in our apartment in Malmö, because I want to put a vining plant in it as a thriller and a spiller, so this is a perfect height for that. So I'm going to merge this rubber plant into the middle of this pot with all these beautiful dark green leaf foliage around. It will be a perfect combination together. So before I do all that, none of these plants have been dusted for quite a while. So I'm going to get my hose out, give them a really good hosing off, and then I'll start working on them. Now, I'm sure these plants are going to absolutely love this hosing off. So much dust on them. So while the sun's out and the weather's nice, perfect timing to get out here and clean these leaves off thoroughly before repotting. Oh, they're saying thank you. Thank you so much for this beautiful washing off. Just what we needed. I can do underneath. Oh, don't want to get it on the camera. So, that was perfect. So, first things first, I need to get this tree out of this pot that it's been in for a while, and its roots are probably quite big. Don't want to damage them. So I don't really know how I'm going to do this one. Just try my best to loosen the soil, and then I'm just going to try and pull him up. Oh yes, here we go. Oh wow, that is a bit of a lot of roots on this plant. Good job I'm outside so I can really just break it up here. But I'll show you in a moment. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. Look at this. I'm just going to come and show you these roots. Look at this. Look at those roots. They go on and on and on. What a beautiful cutting I got from Spain. This is my little southern Spanish sunlight. I'm so proud of it. So let's quickly get these other plants here out of the edge so I can get this in the middle of the pot. Lay it down for a minute without damaging its leaves. So everything has got to come out, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to get that root ball into the middle down to the bottom of this pot. We've got some holders of the leaves here. Sometimes they do flop a little bit. Just to show you with this first plant here, this is what it looks like. They are bulbs, literally bulbs, indoor bulbs, and They've got beautiful leaves on them, look. Shiny, dark green. So they're going to be beautiful around the bottom of that rubber plant because it's so long and leggy and thin. It's going to be nice to have something that is bushy and leafy around the bottom of the pot, around its root area. Two. Yep. Some of the leaves will get damaged, but you know what? I've done this with these plants before and they bounce back in no time. So that's all the roots, and these plants will probably be pouting for a while, but we're going back to our apartment soon, so I won't be here to see all the pouting. So when I get back, they'll be standing up nice and beautiful again, just like they were before. So we've got too much soil going on here, so I need to go and get me another little pot just to get some of this soil out so I can get my plant as quick as possible. So let's get some of this soil out of here. So I'm going to be putting new fresh soil in here and perlite to make sure that they get plenty of aeration and not too clogged down with water, because this pot hasn't got any drainage holes in it, but I never overwater these plants. They can take drying out in between waterings, so perfect for a pot like this. Those roots, I don't want to cut them. I just don't. I don't want to upset my plant too much. Now I need to see where I want the front of the pot because this has got a beautiful picture on it. And I think the front is that side. So I want to put the plant that way around. But I need to put more soil in first because I need to make sure that I don't plant it lower than the point of the bottom of the tree because it's basically a young tree now. It shouldn't be planted any deeper than the bottom of its stem. Let's see how we're doing with this plant now. All those roots in there. Yes, that's now at the top of the edge of this plant, so perfect. I've just realised something. I forgot to put the bulbs in first. They've got to go in deeper first. So, no, I will plant this first, and then I'll make holes around the edge to put the bulbs in because they'll be able to make deep holes and put them in around the edge. Okay, now it's time to start putting these bulbs back around the bottom. Before I put the bulbs back around the bottom, I actually need to prune back some of these lower leaves so there'll be height between the bulbs and their leaves and the rest of this plant here. This plant doesn't need these lower leaves. By cutting them off, I'll actually stimulate more growth out of the top area. And when it gets to the height that I want it to be, I would just simply cut the top off and hopefully it will start branching out on the sides like a little tree. Look at these beautiful leaves. Aren't they beautiful? These leaves could potentially be propagated. So what I'll do is I'll put them in a vase and see what happens. Even if they don't do anything, they're going to look nice for months in water as a display. If I get the highest bulb, I can see the potential height. So it's around there. I don't think I'm going to take off any more leaves right now because I don't want there to be too much gap between the bottom and the of this plant level of the leaves and the bulbs. And we'll see what happens. And if it feels like they need more room, I'll just take another layer of these leaves off. No problem. I know how deep I need to go with the bulb because I can see where it starts getting whiter, which is here. So I need to plant it back in the pot to that level. So I feel like I want to come to the front of the pot now, and then we'll see what we have as space after that. Just feel like I need to put a tiny little bit more soil into this pot and then it's going to be done. Press down around the edge to make a kind of trench for watering, because I have a habit of putting too much soil around the top, and the water flows over. So remember, make sure you have enough space for a trench. But that is it. Now I'm just going to give it all a quick hose over so we can see what we've got going on, and then I can have a little look at it and see if I need to cut any more of these leaves off or not. And there we have it. These two beautiful plants perfectly merged together in this one beautiful porcelain pot. My beautiful rubber tree cutting that I got from a holiday when I was in the south of Spain, and these beautiful bulbs that come out with these flushes of beautiful green leaves, and if I'm lucky at some point might get white flowers on them. The pot itself I got in Beijing in China when I was there. It is a thick, heavy piece of porcelain, and it's got a beautifully Chinese hand-painted picture on it. I absolutely love it. Look at this combination together like this now. I'm just going to take you in for a closer look. Well, that was it for this video. Thank you very much for watching once again. Please remember to subscribe and write any comments you have down below. And I'll see you in another video very soon. Goodbye.